It sounds like she has a lot of influence.
Yeah, because she's influencing everybody else.
I've got 2 businesses in one small office. Property management on a daily basis is freaking crazy. And then I've got a property manager who likes to spell everything out and tell everybody how crazy it is. I'm getting to a point where I'm just going to say, I gotta let you go, or I'm almost at a point where I want to sell the freaking business.
And not only does she have the influence, but like, if I give her ownership, the way you presented it is I'm the king of the hill, I'm the one who runs all this, knock that off. It's usually not gonna work right? Like if somebody approached you that way, you'd be like, instead it's like, I've noticed that, gosh, like you really have influence here in the office. Like people really gravitate towards you and whatever you do, they do. And one of the things that I'm aware of is that this environment is really important because we serve clients at a high level. And I'm noticing that it's continuing to get more loud and like rambunctious and things of that nature. How do you feel about that? And then be quiet. And she'll tell you. It's like, yeah, do you think that affects our ability to be able to serve clients in some way? Truthfully, you have more influence with the staff than I do because you're spending time with them all the time. What I was thinking is what if we could, really with your help and your leadership and taking that on, what if we could work on the culture here? How do you think that would improve? How many more clients do you think we can help? Do you see that's a radically different message? And I'm giving her ownership over it. And then maybe an incentive, like backed by an incentive, like, yo, if we're able to change this, like maybe we could do this. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I trust your ability to be able to do it. Right. Point is like, just like with Abel, when I have that direct conversation, people will go one or two ways. When he had that direct conversation, she changed.
Right.
Some people, you have that direct conversation, yo, we're gonna do 90 days, see how this works? Yeah. They won't. And if they don't, then they're out. No. Is that helpful? Does that make sense? Makes all the difference in the world. That's right.
So in order to grow whatever we're growing, whether it be a team, an organization, if we improve our leadership skills, that helps.
Everything explodes.
You keep it on the mission.
Yeah.
Yeah, which goes back to constantly communicating the mission and the purpose and the vision. Because here's what's true, David. If you can get her to buy in like that and feel ownership, you might go to $50,000 a month in revenue. If you give her an incentive and a profit share to be able to do that, and again, you will grow faster through other people than you will your own efforts.
Correct.
That's how valuable the skill is, guys. That's why leaders are so valuable. Authentically, clearly, concisely, detaching emotion from it, constructively work. Why do you think CEOs make $20 million a year? This story that he told me blew me away. I've always respected him, but I was like, bro, that is next level. 2022. So he's selling real estate, he's doing his thing. He has a couple kids. Clearly, based on the fact that he has to look at her for everything, she was busy with babies. So there was a little bit of eyes were taken off things. Hands are off, that's fine. Eyes were off. Jose's got all these projects and he notices somebody took $100,000 from him. They were doing invoices, fake invoices to staff for projects that he needed done. Bro, and his other partner, their response was, bro, we're putting that guy in jail. Jose says, if we do that, we'll never get a dime. So he sits that guy down in his office. How long did it take?
It was like a two to 3 hour meeting where I sat him down and I said, look, I want to ask you a couple of questions. And
calmly.
Yeah, calmly. I'm like, have you ever taken any money that didn't belong to you? And he goes, no. I said, have you ever made any checks that you weren't supposed to make and cashed them? And he goes, no. And then my next question was like, what if I told you that I had proof otherwise? He's like, well, that would surprise me. I have the checks, put them on the table. As soon as I show him the checks, they're under another name and it's got his signature and his name on the bottom of it. Looks at me and just I don't know how that happened.
His disposition changed, right?
Disposition changed. I continue to talk. And a lot of it comes from my business acumen. And this is what I tell her, and this is one of my skills. So I used to work in check cashing, so I know how that works. Meaning people will work under other names, people will make checks under other names and sign off on just different things. I basically told him, look, I used to work in check cashing. I know how this works. I'm not a rookie at this. Continues to deny it. We're going back and forth for 2 hours. No, I didn't do it. Blah, blah, blah. I keep asking questions. And then it gets to the point where I'm like, look, if I give this person too much time to think, he's going to come up with some sort of creative story as to what happened. But I tell him, look, we got 10 seconds. And in these 10 seconds, you're going to have one of two options. And after these 10 seconds, if I don't hear what I know to be true already, the option is going to be off the table. So these are the two options you have. Number one, option is you're going to confess to me right now and tell me what you did, why you did it, and I'm going to give you the option of repaying me back the money. That's option number 1. Option number 2 is if I get to 0, I'm gonna do a police report, and I'm not gonna give you the opportunity. And the moment you walk out this door, that opportunity is off the table. If it goes past 1 second, past the 10 seconds, I promise you, this will be 100% on the table. So I started counting. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. We get to like 5. He's like, sir, come on. I'm like, no. 5, 4. We get to like 3. He goes, yes. I'm like, yes, what? I did it. Great. That's all I wanted to hear. And I'm like, okay, so let's talk about why this happened. And let's talk about a repayment plan. Now, I knew that I couldn't get repaid even if I filed a police report, because it's like it's very hard to collect on people once they do fraud. It's extremely hard. But my sister, the emotional approach, my sister was like, look, I'm going to file a police report, but you're never going to be collecting on that money. We've recovered $71,000 already of that money.
Wow.
But it was because I was willing to have that conversation with him. And then after that, I shook his hand. I said, thank you so much. I respect you more for doing that. And he almost like tears up. He's like, dude, like, he's like, what's your age? I'm like, I was like maybe like 34 at that time. He's like, dude, I've never had somebody talk to me in the way that like you communicated with me, and I never would have expected this from you. Basically, like.
But Jose, my question is did you keep him employed so you knew that you would get your money back? Or
So he wasn't an employee. We would give him real estate jobs on. He's like a subcontractor.
Okay.
So he would do real estate jobs on other things, but the payment plan changed. So the way that it was before is he used to have access to credit cards, used to get paid by the day, had the freedom of bringing on help if he needed help. Now it basically changed where it's just like, there's no way that you can steal money now, because it's like, okay, you got this job, how much would you charge for this job? And he goes like, $2,000. Great, we're good with that. We'd get a couple estimates. If we're good with it, we'd give him the job. We have a payment plan where he pays like $1,500 every single month.
Didn't you also get the deed to his truck?
Oh yeah, I forgot that part. So when we're working on the repayment plan, I'm like, okay, what's the plan for repayment? I'm like, how much can you pay me? And he goes, well, I can pay you like, I don't have any money right now. I can't really pay you. I'm like, okay. I'm like, you have 2 vehicles, right? And he goes, yeah. I'm like, you have the white truck. All right. Is that one paid off? He goes, yeah. I'm like, you have the other one. I'm like, is that one paid off? He goes, yes. I'm like, what's the value on this one? He goes, I don't know. I'm like, let's look it up. It was like $20,000. And then I'm like, the other one was like $10,000. And it was so crazy. I basically said, which one do you like more? And he goes, well, I like obviously the $20,000 one. I'm like, great, that's the one we're going to sell. I'm like, by the end of Monday, in order for this to be effective, I need the title to the truck and I need the keys to the truck. And I'm going to sell that truck within the next week.
Put it towards your
price that I feel comfortable with, whatever it takes to sell it. So if I get 15, and then that'll count as your repayment. So I told him, how much do you think you stole? He goes, I don't know. And I basically say, well, I've done some math. I don't know an exact number, but I believe it's upwards of $100,000 to maybe $175,000. I'm like, how much should we agree that you're going to pay back? And he goes, I don't know. I'm like, this is what I would be cool with. Pay me back $120 or whatever it was. $120, basically. Mm-hmm. So sell the truck, recoup the money, and my sister to this day, she's like I don't even want. I'll look at the guy and be like, hey, ¿cómo estás?
What's up, bro?
What's up, bro? Yeah. It was crazy because one time we went to a project, and it was right after it happened, and he brought his son, and his son, like, he went back to his son and told him a different story as to the way things had happened, and the conversation came up right there on the spot. And I could see his son getting uncomfortable. And I was like, no. We've already had this conversation. We know the truth. Whatever you told your son in front of his son, I'm like, it doesn't matter. You and I had that conversation as to how things worked out. Because by that time, a week later, he came up with stories as to like how things worked out. But I knew that if I didn't get a confession right there on the spot, the story would get more creative and more creative.
You recorded that conversation, didn't you?
I actually have the whole thing. Of course. Yeah, but the thing is that Like most people would run away from that situation
or
instead of just like, okay, like this is what it is. Like sat there for 2 hours. I invited my sister. I'm like, hey, do you just want to come in and just hang out? I'm like, listen, like, I want nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
Like nothing. I don't even want to be in the same room. And I basically had the entire.
Hey, we should get him a shirt, and on the front it's a countdown: 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. So this young lady next to me is the wonderful, powerful Dynamo, the Mighty Mouse, right? Miss Idelis. And I had the good fortune of working with Idelis personally as her coach for 3 years. And the only thing she wanted to talk to me about every single time was role playing. Once you learn this process, you can apply it to anything.
What's the mistake that a lot of agents make with price is they go too quickly into, I'm gonna get you the most money possible for the house because I'm the best agent in South Florida. That's the mistake, because maybe a lot of money isn't what they're looking for. So just ask a question around price.